go ahead, have a seat there. That's good, just relax. So here's what we're going to do. I'm putting some volume back in the forehead, back in the brows, lift that up, lift the cheeks up, smooth out the area under your eyes. People see neck sagging, so we always try to pull the neck muscle back, but the reality is, if I just fill this in where the masseter muscle is, that lifts that entire neck up. So the largest chewing muscle in your face is right in here, that whole masseter muscle area. And we lose a lot of fat around there. And then our chin jawline starts going up instead of having that strong, jawline that it used to have. When this is filled out, that lifts the whole neck up. So this gets filled.
The actual lips, do you actually put
Fat
in the lips?
Yeah. The big problem with aging is people think, we're losing our skin sagging. And she doesn't have any extra skin on her face. It's just that there's a loss of volume around the brow and the forehead and makes all this start to fall down. And the same thing's true around here. Now she's got really good, clean, tight skin. So the only reason your skin would actually grow or stretch would be if you put it under tension. So if you get very fat or you get pregnant, you're putting the skin under tension and that causes it to grow. Without those forces, there's nothing to cause the skin to stretch out. So in her case, what's actually happened, there's losses of volume throughout the cheek, the brow, and down throughout the whole chin jawline, over all our muscles of mastication. And what you have to realize is our fat cells live for 7 to 10 years and then they die. And so after a long enough period of time, our faces actually devolumize. In other words, we run out of fat cells because the fat cells are dying off and they're not getting replaced by the stem cells that reside in the fat cells effectively enough. So by taking some fat from her tummy, which is loaded with stem cells, condensing the fat and increasing our stem cell population, we have a good chance of getting fat to survive in her face and just restore the tissues to normal, anatomic dimensions. If we were just pulling on her skin, you would tighten things up a little bit, but you would actually blunt the angle of the chin and you wouldn't look as natural.
I've had Botox in my forehead and around my eyes, and then I also had filler in the laugh lines around my mouth, and that was pretty good actually. That normally lasts about a year, and mine's lasted for about 4 because I had quite deep. But I've had them forever, but as I got older, they just didn't spring back, so they started to be quite deep. And the Botox in my forehead worked for a while, and then it just didn't work anymore. It didn't give me the look that I wanted. It gave me a very surprised look, which I didn't like. I don't want to look old, so I try everything that I can not to, and I don't want invasive surgery. I would always draw the line. I would never have gotten a facelift. Because it's too invasive and there's too many issues that can happen with surgery anyway.
It will take about 1 hour.
Okay.
And then Dr. Wong and his dentist?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he's going to put you to sleep.
We've got a vacuum created here. Pull this plunger back, there's a vacuum in here. And then we just have this thing is called a cannula, and there's a little hole in the end. And we basically are breaking off the little fat cells, stem cells, and little blood vessels, and collecting this into here. We'll do probably about 3 of these, 2 or 3 of these things. So we need to get some for stem cells too, as well as our face. We've been doing fat grafting since the late 80s, but now we really understand physiologically how fat graft works. When you inject fat into the face, most of the fat cells die. And that activates the death of the fat cells, and the injury of the fat cell actually activate the stem cells, which then probably grow blood vessels and new fat cells to support the graft. You condense the fat and the stem cells together. But when we give back these cells, we're basically giving back fat and stem cells. And that's what makes the graft work. You need both cells in order for this to be successful. See, so this is free fatty acid, that's broken fat cells. This is all fat condensed, and that's a little local anesthesia in blood. So it's a really good concentration of fat. There's a little bit of blood in the fat too, but that's okay. Those are loaded with stem cells. Same thing here. So this is broken fat cells, it's free grease. That's the fat, and then a little bit of local anesthesia down below. We're going to spill out the grease, use the stuff in the metal on her face. She's got a lot of loss in the forehead, so this forehead, when I look at it, you see the forehead goes again, it dips in and comes back up. So there's actually volume loss under the skin. Technically though, if I put the fat right under the skin, you'll see lumps. So in this area, I'm actually deep to the frontalis muscle. So it's in an area that's not well vascularized, but fat will revascularize itself. It works pretty well. Here you go, Jack. Thank you.
I'm very happy with the results. I'm very happy. I've still got swelling underneath my eyes, and I actually asked Nurse Zane yesterday how long would that stay there, and she said that'll probably disperse in about a month. Some of it was pretty scary looking, and I was looking going, oh my god, I hope that's going to change colour pretty quickly. That's why when I look at the photographs and I go from day 1 to day 10, when I went out of the house, it was really quite remarkable to see how quickly it changed. Because they had to put more in my face, they took more out of my stomach. So I did have some bruising in my stomach, and I was wearing a little bit of a support on the stomach and stuff like that. So mainly I took the painkiller for that. I've got a tiny little hole that's below my bikini line. So as women get older, me particularly, you notice so many things about yourself, and you look and you go, when did that occur? When did my neck sort of stop being a perfect neck? And that is a sign. There's lots of things that show age. It doesn't matter if you had Botox in your forehead or filler in your laugh lines or whatever. The neck, when it starts to actually sag, is a telltale sign that you're definitely over 40. So having that picked up now and noticing that my profile is actually, that is picked up. So that I'm pretty happy with. Well, Botox you can sort of just get in your lunch break and then head out. This is more invasive than Botox, of course, but it lasts so much longer, and it's a more natural thing. I mean, Botox can take away all of your expression. And I still have some lines in my forehead, and I'm happy with that. That's fine. I don't want. I've had Botox where it sort of made my forehead so stiff that you could not possibly tell if I was happy, sad, or otherwise. It doesn't have that big hospital feel. It has almost like a day spa kind of feel to it. Post-procedure, I had Nurse Zane, who was the head theatre nurse. She contacted me every couple of days, just asked how I was feeling, how was the bruising, how was, do I need anything, etc., etc. And that was on weekends, that was on Sunday night, that was all the time. And then I had various other people here, Shannon and whatever, that were sending me messages just going, how is it, how are you feeling, how's it progressing, etc. So the follow-up has been just fantastic as well, because you want to think that you'll get that, but sometimes you just don't, and you think that in and out and that's it, on with the next. But definitely not here. There is a very real interest in my well-being.